Hello, guys. Welcome to the Wisdom Addicts podcast, a podcast where we help you travel into a new mindset through life experiences, book, and just knowledge from people that have done great. Today, I have a very special guest with me, one of my best friends from college, now a professional soccer player. His name is Brandon Bai. Brandon Bai and I met through our love for the game of soccer. I played soccer my entire life, was part of the national team, and being born and raised in the Dominican Republic, soccer really showed me the real side of my country. And I met him and I had an idea of helping through giving back, through bringing gear. And this guy was crazy enough to believe in the idea. And from a clothing drive, we got to scale it to a nonprofit organization called the Aspiras Foundation. And today we want to tell you why we did it. From an idea of just helping, we have been able to help more, but just really make sure we've stayed close to the why of why we love the game and why we believe that it has to open up doors to kids regardless of their social status. So, brother, glad to have you again in the DR. Just want to start off by asking you why? Why did you agree to listen to this kid from the DR that didn't even look Dominican, but you were like, I like his idea and I just want to be a part of it?
Yeah, I think honestly it was very simple. It was you explaining to me that you wanted to help. You wanted to help, kids from where you're from. And the great thing about it was, through soccer. Something that, I always wanted to do was give back to the game that, gave me so much. And, through soccer, through, what we started as From My Back to Yours, through a simple clothing drive, I think that was, really cool and really, something that I could get behind. Obviously, we were very young. College, I was a sophomore, you were a sophomore, junior?
Junior, yeah.
Junior, exactly. And I think we were very young in our, growth as people, as humans in college, trying to find our way. But I think, something that's always stuck with me is, through sports, trying to just, to give back and to give back to, something that I love doing. Soccer is a great equalizer that, everybody can get behind, no matter where you came from, no matter who you are. Something that everybody can get behind and really come together and play the game, and everything else goes out the window when the ball rolls. And I think that was really cool.
Was there any time in your life where you, like for me, it was when I was part of the U17 national team and I had to live for 8 months with 20 other guys my same age but not the same social economic background. So for me, having 2 pairs of gloves was the normal thing, and for them having 1 glove was just a miracle. Mm-hmm. So or if there were any moments when you were growing up where you just knew that this game has to be equal for all, or a moment where you were like, wow, I just want to make sure I give back?
Yeah, I don't know if there was exactly a certain point, but I always just wanted to give back. I think that's something that my parents instilled in me. That they always told me that there are kids out there that are less fortunate, and you could kind of tell. I went to a good high school, grew up in a the suburbs of an area that was nice. But I always kind of knew that there was I was better off than certain kids. And I think the first time that I came here to the DR, that we put the trip together, and I think that was 2017. Mm-hmm. 2017, the first trip I came down, I really saw in these different parts of the country where these kids are they have shoes for the first time and they're smiling and happy, or they don't, and they're showing up in barefoot and in socks that have holes in them, that they come anyways and they want to just have fun. And as soon as the ball rolls, it doesn't matter what they have, as long as the ball is there, they can be there and enjoy what they do. So I think that was one of the big eye openers. And I always wanted to give back, but once I realized that there's these kids out here, that it was a culture shock for me. My first time, in the DR, experiencing all this, I think it was like huge. I was like, wow, I need to do more of this. How can we, step up and do more with Aspiras? And, obviously you've paved the way, but, just being around and being, able to see, this is my 5th trip now. And every time I see something new and I see something that's more inspiring to me, and, something that I want to help. So huge.
When I told you about the idea, you barely know Spanish, you're not from the DR. Mm-hmm. What made you connect with all these kids you've helped that maybe not like me, you grew up here and you have like that cultural responsibility?
Yeah, I think it's from you, honestly. It's seeing you do so much, and then people speak so highly of you when we go to these clubs, we go to, communities in clubs within Santo Domingo, but also, when we go into, rural areas too. I think, people speaking highly of you and, what you do for their club, for their community. I think that was a huge inspiration. And then honestly, the smiles that you get when you walk on the field and people see me, and these kids see me and they think, I'm Dominican, they run up to me and they start talking Spanish to me. And I really don't know much Spanish. So, but you don't need to really. When you have a ball, when you're playing with the kids, soccer, it's an international sport. There's so much there that is unspoken. It's kind of just there and it's the way it is. So I think, I just saw the smiles and the fun that these kids are having. And maybe I go back home and kids are having fun, but this is a different kind of passion and environment and kids that, don't really have much, they get so much passion, love, for the game just by simply, rolling the ball and having somewhere to play, I think is huge. So I think that was, what really, really inspired me.
And I think what really made us connect was that from the first moment I told you soccer was just a tool to get through education, through better family upbringing. You being a 6-year pro now, about to enter your 6th year as a pro, how have you seen your development as a pro player and just growing and understanding soccer, not as you understood it when you were in high school or college? And obviously seeing how we have scaled this organization to different countries, to actually to the houses, to the English classes of these kids. How have you felt that attachment through the years, through to the cause?
Yeah. Honestly, I think it's really cool that, like you said, we use, soccer as a tool. We're not out here making, professional soccer player after professional soccer player, but we're making good citizens. We're making good kids that want to learn, that want to, enjoy and have fun and come out of their life, in whatever situation that they're in with just a little more happiness, a little more joy. And maybe that pushes them to do a little better in school. And at the end of the day, maybe, they can, go farther in school or go to college or something like that we can just, move them forward. I think that's a big thing. And for me, just seeing them all of a sudden, you send me videos of these kids in the English class and speaking a little bit of English and, broken English, just like my broken Spanish. But, these kids are so much younger and them having the ability to learn and identify. And I think once I see the smile on their face and you can see it in the way they talk, they didn't know English at the beginning of the classes. And now they can say, hi, my name is, and my favorite color and my favorite football player and this and that. I think really shows that, and you can see it on their face after they get done with their speech. They're smiling, they're glowing, like really, I can take something from this, and they're proud of themselves for the progress that they made, and that's a really cool thing to see, that they're not saying that, but you can see it in their face.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. We were that age, and we were those players. So knowing that we're giving them opportunities that maybe they would have never gotten the opportunity to have, I think it's just priceless.
Yeah, absolutely. And what keeps you moving forward and wanting to progress Aspiras and wanting to keep moving things forward?
I just think one day I'm going to be really old and I'm not going to have the energy I have now and just the passion, because obviously, I know that one day my time here is going to come to an end. So I just want to make sure that they don't remember me as just a good soccer player, which is, I think, obviously you live out of the game and how there are many soccer players that don't really have any resonance to where they came from. So I just want to make sure that through what we do, we always keep close to that feeling of knowing that we can actually help, and not just as players, but as people. And the older I get, the more the responsibility grows. Obviously, now we have an English program, and, we have kids that used to be volunteers with us, and now just like Seba, he's an entrepreneur, just graduated college. So knowing how the things we did 5 years ago have inspired people, inspired students and athletes to do better, I just think that we have to keep pushing. Because if we don't, we're going to be leaving a lot of people without something to look forward to in terms of, wow, if they do it, I can do it. But just letting people know that it's possible. You don't have to start a nonprofit to help, But if you're an athlete, you need to understand that you have the power and the ability to give back. And giving back, it starts with your mindset. It starts with knowing that you have in your hands the power to change. And I just think that, 10, 20 years from now, people are going to see what we were doing when we were 21 with the picture your dad really likes of 2 boxes. We didn't know what we were going to do. We just knew that we wanted to help. And I think just looking at 2016 to 2022, let's imagine 2032. It's just motivating, It's a challenge that I think we have taken with a lot of honor, and knowing that, people like you, people like the volunteers we have, the friends that support us even from a distance, I think we've done the hardest part of just letting people know why we do it. And then, we can tomorrow be teaching Chinese classes, but as long as we let them know it's a tool to help them become better citizens, I think it's going to be worth it. Cool. Dope.